Hello, everyone. Jak Syn here on behalf of TourFiend.com and Future Daze, and today we're sitting with Ace Buchannon. How you doing today, Ace?
I'm doing fine. It's 9 p.m. in Helsinki, and I'm locked down.
How's it going over there? Like, is everything kind of crazy, or is it just kind of calm right now?
Well, I think Finland has been kind of lucky compared to most European countries, so it's not that crazy here. It's not apocalypse yet.
Well, that's the same way, like, for us over here, and we're staying at home, but then like some of us are essential workers, so we're still going out to work. People are still trying to go to grocery stores, but everything else is just shut down. Everybody's like, I'm staying home, I'm not going to leave this house. I'm not going to go out and do anything because nobody wants to catch anything. Everybody's walking around with masks on.
Yeah, first it was like you don't need masks, so now everyone wears one, so
Well, we got to keep the infection down, right?
for sure.
So today we're going to ask you a few questions, see where it goes from here. Are you ready to do this?
Yeah, let's go.
What are your top 3 moments performing live?
It's a tough call between the first one and the latest one, because the first gig was in the late 2018. It was the Helsinki Flashback Future 5 years, where I was, I kind of sucked, to be honest. I was pretty nervous, and my movement wasn't anything special. And I made a few mistakes, but it wasn't too bad. But of course, it was like kind of a too big event for me for the first show. Like there was Dance with the Dead and Wave Shaper, Robert Parker, Midnight Danger, and Terminus. So I actually shared that there were 2 stages. One was for the local artists, like kind of a secondary stage, which was me, Turbo Knight, Levinsky, and Mega Hammer. And I just got to meet all my, some of my synthwave heroes backstage. And all of them were like so cool people, like down to earth. And we could just talk about anything. So, but I have to say the latest one, which was like exactly 1 year from that, like last November, the Helsinki Synth City Festival, which we were like organizing with Levinsky and Millennium Falk. It's kind of our collective, the Helsinki Synth City. Of course, my set was much better. Like I did like 7 shows last year. I played better, I moved better, and looked better. And the people knew me a bit more, like the local audience. So maybe the last one was the best experience, all in all. And in between, if I have to say top 3, well, there was one show where the fire alarm went off, like in the beginning of my set, because of all the fog machines. And the place had to be evacuated, and firemen stormed in and all that. And after that, we went back in, and it was actually a pretty good show. And about the live shows, the best thing for me was meeting it was the first time I met people, like actual people who like my music. So it wasn't just likes and clicks and comments. It was actual people, like they were asking me to sign stuff, and it was really weird at first. But of course, it brought a new kind of level to this thing, like when you can see that, okay, someone really listened to this stuff we make, and it means something to them. So the project kind of became more serious after playing live.
And that right there, it's always a weird feeling, especially being an artist, when you're there to show, and you go, I just played an awesome set. I'm done here. I'm going to go up. I'm going to pack up my stuff, and I'm going to get out of here. And then all of a sudden, you have people coming up to you going, "Hey, can you sign my stuff? Can I get this from you? Can I buy this from you? Like, I love your music, or your music changed me in some way, or your music helped me through something difficult. So I see where you're coming from. I mean, that's such a crazy experience, especially experiencing that for the very first time. And also, too, I have to say, like, you're pretty awesome when you're up there performing live. I mean, I've never had the pleasure of seeing you perform live in person, but I've seen videos of you performing live, and you were really rocking it up there, especially with that guitar.
Yeah, thanks. I think it works when you do a one-man show. I think it's much better when you can move with your keys, like not just dancing around a laptop like it is sometimes.
It does bring an element to the live show. It really just kind of helps you interact with the crowd more, and vice versa, because you're giving that energy, and you're really just wailing on that guitar. You know what I mean? You're really wailing on it, like giving it your all. So I think it really pumps the audience up, as opposed to, like, you know, being behind. Possibly just being behind some keyboards. You know, that way you can get out in front of everybody and kind of shake your hips, move your body back and forth, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it works. But I could still improve my movement. Like sometimes I'm too focused on not making any mistakes.
Well, you know, it comes with time. And before you know it, you're going to be up there. You're just going to be like playing it without even looking at it. You know, you're just going to be just in your zone, and that's going to be where you're at.
Yeah, like making splits and, you know,
doing cartwheels and everything. That's great. What would you say is your favorite album / EP that you've worked on?
Well, actually, I'm only working on my second album right now. Last year, I released only singles. I think 4 singles, yeah. So for now, I have to say, of course, it's the Magenta Nights, my first album, which exceeded all my expectations. Like, it sold out all the vinyl and cassettes and whatnot, mini disc. And it has the Bonds of Steel, which is, I guess, the most known track outside the synthwave scene. So
it's one of my favorite tracks. I love it. And, you know, like when I was at San Junipero, and I played it here at San Junipero for the first time, I busted it out, and everybody absolutely loved it. Like, they were really into it. You know, I mean, you kind of go, like, you know, songs that are like faster than 130. You kind of go, it's kind of a toss up. You never know how people are gonna be, but this song running at 170 BPM, it was really like getting people like going. They're like, oh my god, like it was like, I think it was like around 1 a.m. here, and people were like, they had been dancing since 9. So by 1:30, they were ready to just give it their all, you know, because I brought them all the way up, and I was like, okay, I'm going to drop this track right now, and we'll see where it goes, and it worked.
Yeah, I think it's like 160 BPM or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I may have brought it up a little bit higher, but.
Like, how can you even dance to it? I don't know.
It's all about hip movement. Hip movement. There you go. That's just the hip. It's just in the hips. That's where it's at.
Yeah. I think, well, they're doing something like it works in the live sets too. Like these days, I play it well, it's not the very last track, but when it comes up, it seems to like people go crazy.
It wakes them up. It does. Yeah. It really does wake them up. Yeah. The new music that you're working on right now, how has that been? How has that creative process been for you?
Well, this one is more varied. Like, there are almost different genres in it, like cyberpunk a bit, and city pop and synth pop. But the overall sound is kind of wraps it up all together. Like, it all sounds Ace Buchannon. There are the familiar elements, but there are a few bangers, and then there's like some anime sounding city pop, and I hope it's not too mixed. But I don't know. I've enjoyed it that it has some variation, and the music's all done. Well, I'm still finishing a track called Ace of Hearts, which is kind of a 80s rock song. It will have male vocals and guitar, and the chorus is maybe the best I've ever done. So it will be a great track to play live, like maybe with guitar and keytar. We'll see. But yeah, other than that, the music's done. I'm still mixing, and someone else can do the mastering, someone who knows how to master. And that's it. The artwork will be made by the same guy, Atom Cyber, who made the Magenta Night cover, and that's like almost done.
And he did really great work on that cover. I think what's interesting about what you were talking about with your new music is that it's blending all of these different elements. And I think that's a good thing, because as an artist, it's like, can't be pigeonholed into one thing. It's like, it's however you feel, however you want to convey what you're creating. And I think that over time, in the creative process, you learn and you grow and you see new things that inspire you. So I think it's great that you're blending all of those elements together.
Yeah. So at least, everyone will like at least one or two tracks.
Well, it's all a journey, and I'm looking forward to hearing the whole album in its entirety, like listening to it from start to finish, because that right there, it's like it's a journey from start to finish and what you're thinking and what you're feeling.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. It actually includes some of the singles I made last year, like Come Alive with Anna Moore, and Never Surrender ends the album, because the album will be called Eye of the Storm. So it has this kind of a theme. It's not a concept album, but it's ends with the Never Surrender. Yeah, my music always has this positive. Like for me, the 80s is all about the training montage, like don't give up and all that stuff.
That's a very positive message right there. Don't give up.
Yeah.
That rings true. I mean, for every artist out there, I think that message resonates with everything that they create. Don't give up. Just keep pushing on.
Exactly.
What was the drive behind getting you into making music and performing live?
Well, I've been making music like on and off since I was like maybe 10 years old. I started with some old tracker software, old DOS PCs, and I've always liked 80s music and game soundtracks and movie soundtracks. So when I first heard, I actually have a metal background. I played guitar in some metal cover bands and stuff. But when I heard synthwave, I just knew like I have to make this stuff. This is my genre. Like I heard some Laserhawk, King of the Streets, I think, and Mitch Murder, and some other early like new retrowave channel stuff. So then I made the track Mano a Mano. After I came up with Ace Buchannon project name, I just thought, what is the most 80s and cool name I can come up with? Ace is pretty 80s, and Buchanan is actually from Mitch Buchanan in Baywatch, even if that's 90s series. And then I made that one track and sent it to New Retrowave, and they uploaded it, and people seemed to like it. And then I started to work on Buns of Steel, and people liked it even more. So I couldn't stop there, right?
No, you can't. All of your releases and everything you put out, and what you were talking about in your name, I mean, it's like it's an homage to David Hasselhoff's characters, And David Hasselhoff's very 80s, so, and he's an international star,
Yeah.
But your music, I can see where those elements or those inspirations came to you, like from like you were talking about the early synthwave artists, like you're talking about Laserhawk, even like artists like FM Attack, things like that. Like those artists, having them come before, and then you creating what you've created, it adds and it helps drive that forward. The 80s are a very universal language to a lot of people. When I say the 80s, like its musical style and what it represented, adding to that as what you've done, I think it goes really, really well with what you're conveying.
Yeah. I think the 80s sound kind of enables you, like allows you to make kind of cheesy stuff. Like it would be too cheesy in some other contexts. Like you can tell the stories and the serious messages with it, even though there's the cheesy saxophone and like gated reverb snares and all that. That's why I like it. It allows me to say all the things I want to say with music.
And I know for me, it's like you can never have too much saxophone and too much guitar. So
yeah. Same here.
I eat it up. I love it.
And about performing, originally I wasn't even thinking of performing with this project. Like I just wanted to try it out, like send something out there. But after a while, I saw some synthwave shows, and I thought like I could make this a bit better. Like of course all of them were good, but I thought I could bring this Ace Buchannon character, kind of, the jacket and the shades and all that stuff with the guitar. So I think it works.
It really does work. You being up there and like giving that energy to the crowd up there. That from what I've seen, it's a very unique experience, especially with your music behind you. What are you looking forward to accomplishing the most moving forward?
Well, playing abroad, like we were planning some US shows already. Like we had, like it was all planned out already with a few Finnish artists and few US artists. I won't say any names at this point, but it was like there was New York and New York was kind of confirmed already, but then this COVID-19 came up and all the shows, of course, were cancelled, like in Finland and outside of Finland. And if this ends one day, it would be great to play in the US and outside Finland anyway. So that's the biggest thing. But on the bright side, this allows me to make more music, like because I'm working remote. I'm just pretty much, there's no excuses not to release even 2 albums this year. Like I have some songs that didn't fit this album just because of their sound or type. So I think I could release one in the autumn as well. So we'll see how this situation goes, and maybe I can play in the New York and LA one day.
Well, we would love to have you in Los Angeles. Like having you over here would be great. Seeing you perform live, especially at one of our venues over here, I would love that.
Yeah, that would be awesome, because in the Spotify statistics, LA is my top city right after Helsinki. So I think some people would come to see the show.
Oh, I think that they would. I think that they definitely would. Your sound's great, and I know for me, I love to play Buns of Steel and Mizukage Prototype when I'm DJing up there, and people really get into it. They really enjoy it. It's a nice little, those are nice trance tracks. Mizukage is a little bit less than the BPM, so it's a little bit more like dancey. But like when you want to wake people up, play Buns of Steel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Mizukage also works pretty well in the clubs. I've noticed. I play that always on my sets too.
Well, when you come down here to LA and you perform live, I cannot wait to see your entire set. And I know a lot of other people who will be so happy that you're going to be playing here soon.
Yeah, so, I will.
What positive message would you give your fans out there?
Well, I would encourage everyone to do the same, that they would use this time to work on the things that they normally don't have the time. Like if there's a project or something, just keep yourself busy and work on that. Like, don't just watch Netflix and eat like I have done. And wash your hands, and like no matter how hard things get, you can just keep your head high and never surrender.
That's very true. Those are some wise words there, everybody. Take a listen to Ace Buchannon's words right there. Right now, it's like we're going through the great pause. I kind of like to say the great pause because everything is on pause right now. So a lot of people, I think there are a lot of people who fall down that rabbit hole where they're just kind of stuck in this rut and they don't know what to do. But it's important that they keep their minds busy, working on projects, creating art, creating music, doing something that they have put off for a long time or haven't thought about doing before. I think it's a great time for them to get into those things and to start something new that they've never done before.
Exactly. Yeah, this is perfect for that because you kind of have to do something. You're staying inside and you would go mad if you don't do something. So now's the time.
And even though right now it's like it's terrible what's happening in the world, it's terrible and tragic, like very tragic. But I think at the same time we've all been given a gift in a way, and that gift is time that we didn't have before.
Yeah, and I also hope that we learn something from this. Like when people actually meet each other after this, like in the venues, for example, like shows, I think there should be kind of a new level of appreciation for that, connecting with people and talking to each other and all that. I hope.
I hope so too. Thank you so much for taking this time to sit with us today, Ace. Thank you to everybody out there for tuning in and watching us have this conversation. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel because more interviews are on the way. Thank you again, Ace. We look forward to seeing you again next time.
Well, thank you, man. My pleasure.
And as always, dream it, build it, let it grow. Thank you again.